meet Juliana while she's giving Jerry a massage and the two are chatting. Juliana makes a comment about her 5-year-old son, inexplicably prompting Jerry to ask if she'd heard of a recent kidnapping in Pennsylvania.
Next thing you know, she turns around, boom, he's gone.
Whoa.
And these people are all over the place. You never know who's crazy. I could be one of these people.
Juliana tries changing the subject several times, but Jerry carries on, eventually frightening her.
I don't live near here, you know?
It becomes clear over the coming days that she no longer wants him as a patient.
I don't know, she actually seemed to get a little paranoid.
But, and in desperate need of a doctor's note for insurance, he finally goes up to her office, and it doesn't go well.
Listen to me.
Run, Billy! Run to the office and close the door! Call the police!
This is the last time we see Juliana. Juliana was played by Terri Hanauer. She had 27 productions prior to Seinfeld and would go on to do 29 more. Not even 3 months after her role of Juliana, Terri appeared on an episode of the very popular show Night Court as Miss Henley.
Why don't you fly?
Flying gives me shingles.
2 years later, she would land a small role in the movie Born Yesterday, where she has a brief interaction with John Goodman.
Lily, Senator Harry Brock, pleasure to meet you. Hi, Harry Brock. Nice to meet you. How you doing?
Hi.
And over here?
And just 6 months after that movie was released, she appeared in an episode of Beverly Hills 90210 playing Jackie's attorney.
But of course, you have no formal training or experience with childcare.
In 1996, she was featured on an episode of Murder, She Wrote, playing the director of a television show.
Well, it can't be a reflection on my directing because you haven't backed off long enough to let me do any.
The following year would see Hanauer land roles in 2 feature films. One was called Breastmen and was released directly to television, while the other, called Habitat, was a full cinematic release.
I'm Myra Johnson. My husband sold you the house. And this is Ellen.
In 1999, she would land roles in both of the major hospital dramas, first as Mrs. Haggerty in an episode of ER.
He was fixing a floodlight over our garage and the ladder slipped, but he seemed okay. He just had a headache.
And 2 months later playing Dr. Segovia in an episode of Chicago Hope.
You're Dr. Aaron Shutt, for God's sakes. I've read several of your papers.
That same year of 1999, she had a small role as Jack Lemmon's stepmother in the award-winning film Tuesdays with Morrie.
The father of our country is...
She started the 2000s off with a role as Mrs. Lumbee on an episode of Seventh Heaven.
I know it's terrible, and I am so sorry it happened, but it's over.
Then Diane Buckner on an episode of the groundbreaking HBO series 6 Feet Under.
Now I find out he didn't run away at all. He died in a freak accident.
As well as Marilyn Grabber on an episode of NYPD Blue.
He found it in a park this morning.
I was gonna bring it to the cops after you show your friends.
She played a character named Annie in a 2010 experimental short film called Earth Ring. Unfortunately, there doesn't seem to be a copy of it floating around. So, the last role we have for her was playing Lieutenant Kowaleski in the 2005 Anne Hathaway film Havoc.
Allison was in the next room. We just want cooperation in identifying the man who violated her friend.
And just for fun, if we go back to the very beginning of Terri's career in 1981, she had a small role in a television movie called Scruples. But her first major on-screen appearance was a year later in the hit series Chips, where she plays a patron at a male strip club. And that's Terri Hanauer.